This is the Cadillac Escalade V, powered by a hand-built supercharged 6.2-liter V8 producing 682 horsepower and 653 pound-feet of torque. Power is sent to all four wheels via a 10-speed transmission, rocketing this 6,200-pound, three-row luxury SUV from 0 to 60 in just 4.3 seconds. With all the amenities of a traditional Escalade and the raw power of this fire-breathing V8, Cadillac has created the ultimate automotive enthusiast family vehicle.
All right, we're in the Cadillac Escalade V. First things first, let's do a launch. V mode, left on brake, right on gas. Starts to burble. Send it.
Woo! Oh, and the Brimbos work.
Oh my God, this thing is excellent. All right, so we can turn it from V, which is a fully customizable sport plus-ish mode, back to sport, to snow and ice, tow haul, a custom mode, and touring, which quietens everything down and softens it up. I'm not going to drive for 1 mile in touring. It's going to be at sport the entire time. That opens up the baffles on the exhaust, gets a little bit more aggressive on the shifting.
Oh. This isn't the kind of chauffeur experience I was expecting when a black Escalade pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, it's black on graphite gray. It's not quite triple black because of the wheels, but I mean, it's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a complete menace, this would probably be a really good vehicle to get chauffeured around in.
Oh, yeah.
Now, huge thanks to Wagner Cadillac. They're lending us this. They trust us with the vehicle. We're going to go out here and go do a thorough review without tearing it up. It's in sport. I'm not doing anything with the paddle shifters. You do have real metal paddle shifters when you're in sport. You can shift it and it will stay in manual until after a certain duration it will time out and go back to automatic. You can put it over in manual and it will never time out and it'll stay in your full manual mode. If you run up to the red line, it will just slap the red line and not force an upshift. So if for some crazy reason you are tracking this vehicle, you can't actually ring it out to the red line and then back down off of it without it forcing an upshift. The dash is a wraparound with 2 displays, but they're integrated in like the most Cadillac of ways. They're like wrapped in each other. I'm sure there's probably actually 3 displays here, a center
38
cluster.
38 inches of OLED screen.
38 girthy inches of OLED screen here. And it's really going to be 3 separate screens. You can see them. You got some info on the left and a little tiny screen, which is still very clear. They're all matched and optically very cohesive, so it's not a jarring experience. Then you've got your center gauge cluster and you've got another screen over here for your infotainment. It's quick, it's responsive. If I was to be the buyer for the engine and transmission and the all-wheel drive system that comes in the V model, because essentially everything else you can get in a non-V trim of the Escalade. So if you're getting the V, it's because you want the luxury plus.
That 6.2-liter supercharged V8 under the hood, the burble behind us. Like you said, making popcorn earlier, if you let off the gas, it just pop, 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 pop back there. Oh.
I'm not touching the paddle shifters. It's in sport mode. It's like, I know what you want. I know why you're in sport mode. I got it. I got that covered. You can drop it. Let's do 3rd gear. And then... I mean, it will go on, especially if you're going downhill and it's pulling the motor. It'll just keep going and going. And oh man, if you don't like that, don't get the V. If that's something that you're going to complain about, don't get the V. Just go get the naturally aspirated 6.2. Still a great vehicle, still sounds good, but it's less devious than the V. But if you know that you like that kind of stuff, this one's going to deliver, and it's not going to make you do any weird button combos. Just put it in sport, and it knows what you want.
You know, for a brand that can build something like this, that sounds this good, that performs like that, to pledge to go all electric is a travesty.
It's almost fishy. It's almost like they're being forced to do it.
Almost.
It's actually really super, almost like you would swear they're being forced to do it by a higher power.
Who could that be? But yeah, like, they make an Escalade IQ now. We've seen the electric version of this vehicle. Yes, it's going to be stupid fast, but it's not the same.
No, it's absolutely not the same. It might even be faster. I've driven much faster electric vehicles. Anyone that's an automotive enthusiast that's been around the block and been out test driving or doing whatever with electric vehicles, it's not hard to find something faster than this. But those are like operating an appliance. It's a faster or slower version of an almost identical experience depending on which brand or vehicle you're in. Most of these people aren't even making their own EV powertrains or batteries or electric motors. It's all copy paste. This, you are taming a beast. Is it the fastest thing in the world? No, it's not meant to be. It's supposed to be a hell of a lot of fun and way too over the top in here with the suede headliners, a supercharged V8 it's just back there making popcorn all the time. This is an experience of a vehicle. That's why you buy this over an electric vehicle. That's the whole point of this vehicle. It's incredible. And don't for a second think that no one's buying them because they're too expensive. I've probably seen 6 of these in a week. As soon as they get them, they're being sold. We were gonna drive a white one, and that one sold before we could put our cheeks in the seat. And we had to go with the triple black version that we're in right now. They're selling like hotcakes, even though the price is $150, what?
$156,265 as this one is spec'd out.
Is that expensive? Yes. Is it worth it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's worth it. Corey, talk about the luxury of the back seat so that we can get back to hooning this thing around.
So another thing this does have is semi-aniline leather, which you just coddles you in luxury. I've got captain's chairs back here. I've got screens on the back of your seat, so I can watch YouTube. I can watch our video on this vehicle back here from the back seat. But you've got a leather wrapped dash up there in front of you. I'm sure you've got kittens making biscuits on your back up there.
I do.
In your massage seats.
They're back there biscuiting. Every time I get too close to the back of a car, it gives me a little thigh rub too. That's part of the anti-collision thing, I guess. Is
the GM safety seat, making sure that you don't do anything stupid up there. But these are the quintessential chauffeur vehicle because they're big, they're heavy, they fit that tax bracket for their weight, and this one is like the ultimate chauffeur vehicle because you do have all that power. So not only is it something you would want to ride in, which I'm very comfortable back here, heated seats, I've got my 3rd zone climate, but you're having a lot of fun up there as well.
I am.
And you know it'll go, you know it'll stop. We've got Brembo brakes. The ride on this thing is ridiculous. We just went over train tracks, but we've got Magna Ride on this one. Yeah, didn't even feel it. Like it just floats.
Floats. And in V mode, it lowers it. In touring mode, it raises it a little bit, gives you a little bit more plush ride. It's a fully featured vehicle with an incredible drivetrain. It's not like you're in some sport model vehicles, especially like the pseudo luxury brands, they're down trimming you to get the higher tiered motor and transmission. It's not the case here. Top tier vehicle, slap a supercharger on it, all wheel drive and let it rip. I mean, it's their kitchen sink vehicle. That's a terminology I'm going to be using on the brands that actually give you everything. They just vomit everything into one vehicle, and that's this.
And the fact that you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 real size adults in a vehicle that will go 0 to 60 in less time than a Nissan Z. Like, what?
Yeah. And this is the standard length vehicle, like Tahoe length, and you can get the ESV, which is the suburban length, for a little bit more trunk space.
But why? Like, you've already got 25 cubes back behind the third row seat anyway.
She's thick.
Yeah.
It's thick. I mean, if you get on the gas, the all-wheel drive system starts to scoot the back, and then that roly-poly suspension rolls it over to the side and overcomes the traction, then the whole thing just kind of starts shuffling to the side, and it's not really controllable if you really push it, just because of the weight. It's not because it's a poorly designed system. It's just tall and heavy and powerful.
There's only so much you can do with physics.
There's only so much you can do. I don't care how sticky the tires are, you're gonna overcome that traction around a corner pretty quickly. And I would imagine, even though these Brembos bite really well, they're gonna heat soak and get brake fade pretty quick. So I wouldn't track this.
Yeah.
Like this, you're gonna go to Cars and Coffee, rip out of there, not hit the crowd, and look like an absolute rock star, and then go and do whatever you do that makes you enough money to drive this thing.
And independent rear suspension. This is first generation to have independent rear suspension on the Escalade. This definitely takes advantage of it.
Yeah, let me put this in touring mode real quick so we can soften it up. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You know where these things come from?
Is it a neighbor of ours?
2 hours west of us, in Arlington, Texas. So this is a Texas born and bred beast.
It definitely fits the Texas persona too.
Yes.
It's over the top. It's brazen. I love it. Like, I can't think of anything else I would want more out of this vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, it does everything right. It does everything right. It gets you everything, with the exception of ventilated second row seats, which I thought was the only real omission.
But they do recline quite nicely, so I can get very comfortable back here.
You can kick back, turn your AC on. You got all your AC controls. We got a big, huge panoramic sunroof, which is closed because it is 101 degrees in September here in Texas, with the humidity of way too much.
I double tap my screen back here. I can even send directions to you up front to make sure that you're going where I want you to go. All that good stuff from back here.
Nice. They're getting a little iRobot on me there.
Yeah. Sometimes I just have to lean back just to not watch what you're doing up there.
Uh-oh, we have to stop for an ambulance.
Ring out those 682 ponies.
And the shifting, it's just giving you a little slap while you're running through the gears. It is so cool. I mean, these motors, you feel them. Like, you feel them in your feet and your hands and your back and your legs, your ears. Like, it is an auditory, physical experience when you have that much power coming from an internal combustion engine. It's a whole different thing driving this versus looking at the numbers on the spreadsheet. 682 horsepower, 653 foot-pounds of torque.
0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds.
We're almost at the end of our journey because I am sucking down this gasoline faster than my son sucks down a Capri Sun. But we have a parking garage here. We're not going to do anything stupid. We just got to give it a pull. It's just one pull. That's why you buy this thing. That is exactly what this is for. That's exactly what this is for. Just stop at every gas station, rip it, get some more gas, rip it some more. Oh, I would never miss a gas station in this thing.
Oh, she is top heavy.
Yeah, she scoots. That Cadillac Escalade V is the pinnacle of what makes Cadillac a Cadillac in the form of an SUV. Big supercharged V8, more crazy than your ex-girlfriend that swore she was on birth control, except this one you can actually have an off button and trade it in. But now it's Corey's turn to take this thing for a rip, and that's all we got.